right, so for today, I'm going to try out these mask buffers. They go into your mask in order to help try and keep it off your face. That's the premise. So just initial impressions, it is very soft on the outside. It's firm, but it's also got some give to it too. So you can see it's like kind of foldy, and then it's kind of got like this soft touch to it. It's not like latex or anything like that. It's not like rubber. It's just kind of a powdery feel to it, but it's not coated in anything. So yeah, so I'm gonna try this out today. I've got a big day planned ahead of me. We're gonna have to wear this quite a bit, so I'm gonna be able to test drive it. This is a standard mask that I make. I create it with double layer cotton, a filter pocket, and a nose piece. So that way I've got an adjustable nose there. I do wear glasses, so that's really important to me to have that for not fogging. So this is gonna go inside of here. Now the first thing I noticed is that these clips here, which are supposed to help you with kind of anchoring the buffer to the mask, they are only one way. So if your pleats, like my pleats, are down instead of up, so they don't fit, it actually would not hook on anything, because my mask would actually have to be upside down and they would hook kind of in this way, because that's the direction of the pleats. So that we'll see if that's a problem not having it anchored today, but so far this is what it's going to be like. So I'm just going to shove that in there and put it on my face, and I will do some more videos in a little bit. All right, so it's on. I'm actually just about ready to leave my house. You notice here that there's no gapping or anything on this one. But what I noticed is it does, because it pushes it away from your face, it does require a little bit of extra fabric. So I think this mask is a little bit wider than like a standard mask. So if you're wearing a standard mask, it may create some gapping or make it too short. The other thing I noticed, yeah, see that? Okay. So what's happening is that because the plastic is pushing against my nose and my nose piece is against my nose, it's creating a lot of, I guess, air pocket places. So normally with my mask and wearing glasses, I don't have any problems. But it looks like it's lifting it maybe a little bit off my nose, so that's not creating that seal that I had with my nose piece alone. But it feels good. I'm able to talk really easily. I don't feel the fabric against my lips or on my nose, which is nice. And I'm gonna have a big day today. I'm actually gonna go buy a car, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm gonna ride with this for a little bit, and then I've got a couple-hour drive. I'll ride with it for a little while, see how it feels. But otherwise, it's a snug fit. Feels pretty good, and I'll see how bad that glasses fogging gets. We're having a pretty humid day here in Kentucky. It's still kind of morning, and there's a lot of dew and rain that happened last night, so maybe it's just because it's humid. I don't know. But I'll talk soon. Alright, so I thought I'd give you another quick look. I just took this off my face for a minute. This is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of bizarre, but it gives your mouth and nose kind of a space. There is a kind of a nose carve out there. A little bit of a chin as well. And for me, I've got a predominant chin, so I noticed already that whenever I'm talking, like whenever I was filming a little bit ago, it tends to like bounce this a little bit on my face. With that, so it does, I mean, it fits, it's pretty well formed, but you can see where adding this to my nose, plus my nose bridge of my glasses, plus the nose bridge of the mask, can get a little competitive for the space that's available right here. There's not a lot of room to put anything else. So there's that. I don't typically wear lipstick, but people say that this is like good for people who wear a lot of makeup. I know this looks ridiculous. But I just want to show you kind of the face fit, how that works. Does fit pretty well, and I mean, it's already creating like a little bit of a nose divot there, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything like that. So that's kind of what that looks like. All right, so just for comparison, this is what it looks like without the guard on it. It can get close to my nose, and it can get close to my mouth. Usually the way that my masks are made, they do go underneath the chin pretty, I mean, you know, a couple inches, so that way it really does get a lot of full coverage here. It also helps push it out, but if you can see, like as I inhale deeply, you know, it sucks to my face. But yeah, so it does, whenever you inhale, the mask without the buffer does kind of get close to your mouth. And you can see, yeah, you can see the breath that's going in and out. And you really can't see that as much. I don't know if that's like an issue for people, but I just wanted to comment on that. And then sometimes, like, because of where the pleat is, it can feel like it's up under my nose. So having the buffer does kind of push it out so it's not under my nose. So yeah, this is a comparison to what it looks like without the buffer. And this is back with the buffer. Notice there's like it's firm here. So there's no, it's not sucking in. Like there's no sucking it into kind of this cage space. It just stays kind of put right there. So yeah, and yeah, you can definitely tell it's extended as opposed to like, it would be, you know, kind of in a little bit if I didn't have the buffer on. All right, so I've been wearing this about an hour now. I'm heading up north, and I still feel really comfortable. Like this fits well. It's you know, it's far enough away from my lips that I feel comfortable. I'm not sucking it in. I'm not inhaling it under my nose, so it feels pretty good. I'm gonna take it off and see how my face looks. The one thing I noticed that, you know, of course, whenever you, when you can't do something, you want to do it more. Well, I noticed that my nose was itching. Like, you know, normally I would just kind of do this underneath the mask. I can't reach my nose because it's tucked under this cage. So it's funny because, like, if you've got to itch your nose, you've got to figure something out because this is not going to work. Okay, so then I'm going to just pop this off and see. Whew, okay. All right, so there it is. It's kind of hanging off. It's just in the mask there. It looks like I've got a little bit of an indentation on my nose. Not really any other marking, which is cool. Yeah, so far so good. Oh, okay, it looks like there's a little bit of, like, a teeny bit of condensation on the inside. I don't know if you can actually see that. There's like a teeny bit of condensation around where my nose was and my mouth was. But yeah, okay, so far so good. It does kind of bounce up and down. Like if I open my mouth, like it definitely, like, you know, bounces up and down a little bit whenever I'm talking. I noticed that too. And that pushes it up on my nose, and my glasses kind of bounce a little bit, which is a little funny. But yeah, so far so good. About an hour in, and pretty comfortable. Didn't really leave any kind of noticeable indentation other than the bridge of my nose, but I think it's just because of the wire as well. That all of these things attached on top of each other. So far so good. All right, so it's been like all day. It feels like it's been a long day. I've been wearing my mask since, I guess, around, call it 9 o'clock this morning, and it's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's been a long day. But I bought a new car, and it's amazing, and I love it. It's a new Subaru Outback. I'm in love with it. So anyway, I just left the dealership, and I've been wearing this, like I said. So what I've noticed, a couple things. One of them is that I know it doesn't look like my ears are being pulled, but because of the distance it is now from my face, it's pulling a little bit of extra stress on these ear loops. And so what I've noticed is that my ears ache a little bit. So just because it's being kind of pulled further away from my face, you can definitely, like, I can definitely feel like it within my ears. Like it feels like it's a little bit tighter, and a little bit like my ears kind of feel a little achy. And they normally wouldn't, because I have it a little bit closer, and so it's not putting as much stress on my ears. So that's one thing. The other thing that I've noticed, I think, is that it does get a little bit of condensation in there. So like if I take it off, and I'll take it off here in a second, there's going to be some condensation on the inside of the frame, the buffer frame. But it's less condensation on the frame than I actually would feel against my mouth if I wasn't wearing it. So at times whenever I've been wearing a mask without this, I've noticed that I do get a lot of condensation and moisture like right around my mouth and my nose, and it just stays on the fabric and it kind of stays wet and it stays like, you know, on my face. And so this really does kind of push away that fabric to let the airflow happen a little bit more naturally, to where I don't have as much moisture on my lips. So I actually really like that a lot. So I'm going to take this off. Oh boy, that feels good on my ears. Oh, and there it stuck to me a little bit. So there's the piece that I've been wearing all day, and yeah, so there it is. And you can see where it was kind of fitting up against my face. A little bit of pressure, but still got a little bit of indentation there. Otherwise, it looks okay. I feel like I could take this off at a store or a restaurant and not have like a weird, I was kind of wondering if I would have like a little ring around my face, because that would be awkward. Like if you wear it to a restaurant then you take it off to eat. The other thing that I noticed that would be really good is for like the winter time. I usually wear like more like chapstick and lip gloss and stuff. I haven't really done that now because it's summertime and I don't have as many issues, but I get dry lips during the winter time. And so I could totally see myself wearing this to keep my mouth off my mask, and for it to rub off on the inside of the fabric. I think that would kind of bother me to have like chapstick like smeared on the inside. That just seems really gross. And then other people, you know, whenever I was starting to research these, we're talking about like, oh, you can wear it with lipstick. Yeah, totally would make sense. I'm not much of a lipstick person, but I could totally see where this would allow you to wear lipstick that was, you know, untouched, I guess, by your mask. So that's my kind of my what I have to say after wearing it for all day. It feels like I want to have my my son try it out, and maybe my husband, and see a couple other people what they feel like it's, how they like it. My car's beeping at me because I'm not looking where I should, and it knows that my eyes aren't forward. It's a very smart car. So anyway, I actually really like it. I can totally see myself using this on a regular basis. I think what I'll have to do though is to change the orientation of how I sew my masks. So I'll actually have to like change the pleat on the masks that I wear, so that way they're not pleated up, they're pleated down, so that these can hook in, so that these little hooks can hook in there. And then the other thing that I've seen people say that you can do is like just sew them on. So like a couple little stitches around this exterior loop here, right here, that little exterior loop right there would actually sew, would hold it in place as well. So I may end up doing that for the masks that I have currently sewn that I don't want to like re-sew. So that might be an option there too. But yeah, so far so good. I actually I really liked it. The other thing that I would do, so in the future I would sew my pleats different, and I would make longer elastic or make wider fabric, because again, having this push out, you know, that's like what, like almost 2 inches, 1.5 inches. When it pushes it out that far, it really does kind of pull it in. So like normally you might have it like, you know, on a regular mask and maybe out to here, but like with the mask buffer, it'll be for closer, you know, smaller because of this stretch over top. So I'd have to make pleats different, and then I would need to do make longer elastic or wider fabric. So I would have to adjust my pattern a little bit, and I honestly think that I might, just because I really like the experience of having this between me and my mask. I know that sounds weird. So yeah, so that's what I think. I'll probably add some more whenever I have other people test it.